Hello, people of the world. I hope you're okay. I don't know why I feel the need to come on here and say, June is done, January is done, February is done. I don't know. I don't know what's the point of that. Or me sharing books. I don't know how I feel about wrap-ups. Sometimes I like them and I'm like so excited, and whenever a month is finished, I like get so freaking excited to talk about the books that I've read and stuff like that. But sometimes I don't understand it. I don't understand anything. And today, I don't really understand anything. But May is over. I read 12 books. It's good, but I'm not impressed by me because I wanted to read more. And these are the books. So I started off the month with Ice Planet by Barbarians. It was cool. It was cool. This was shoved down my throat by all the people in my book club because I don't know, alien stuff aren't really was never my forte, and I was bored, okay? I tried it and it was cool. I didn't expect it to be cool, but it was cool. The plot it's not something original. None of it is original. Everything is so fucking expected. Everything is easy to understand. Like, it's all so freaking easy, and I liked it nonetheless. A bitch gets kidnapped and now we meet an alien. And that's it. Is it the best writing? No. Is it the best character development ever? No. Is it the best, like, poetic, most incredible shit that I've ever read in my entire life? No. Did I still enjoy it? Yes. Did I still want more? Yes. Actually, like, one of the most entertaining books that I've read this month so far. After that, I read Run on Red by Noel W. This was a thriller following two girls driving to head to a bonfire, and then they notice a pair of headlights has been following them. They catch up to them and shit get gory real quick. I loved it, and I wanted to, I don't know, like, it leaves you till last minute to tell you what the hell is happening, and it's something that you wouldn't expect, because you'd be like, oh, maybe this is a kidnapping, maybe they know them, maybe this is a prank, maybe this is this, but it's something so much bigger than all of that, and I liked it. Next up, I read Tender is the Flesh by Augusta Basterica. This book merited an entire video to its own. This was incredible, mind-boggling, incredible writing, incredible storytelling, incredible setting, and the way the setting was created, it just was too realistic, and it left me with a lot of questions, a lot of answers, and a lot of questions. And it's definitely a book that I keep recommending to people. It was really, really good. It was really, really, really good. This was like George Orwell on crack. I read The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. I don't have a lot of memories of this book, even though I just read it last month. I don't know, a book following Hannah and Owen. I hate that name, but following Hannah and Owen. And one day, out of nowhere, she gets a note from Owen, her husband. It says, protect her, and that's it. And then he leaves, and do you see my lips getting slowly bigger? I had a lip plumper on. But she gets a note saying protect her, and then Owen is no one. I tried to do a pun. I was gonna do like no more, because he doesn't really exist in her life anymore. Didn't work. I'm sorry. It's not there. He's gone. Okay, he's not dead. Maybe you have to read it to know I did not spoil anything, right? So we end up following Hannah on this adventure in her little neighborhood and states and shit to try to figure out what the heck is happening, and it ends up being this huge family melodrama. I liked it. It wasn't the best. I was expecting more, but I liked it nonetheless. It was entertaining. I finished it so fast. I finished it fast because it was just like, I just wanted to know. The chapters were easy. The characters were good. I don't know. I liked Hannah. I don't really have any problems with it. It's just that I was expecting more. So I was a bit disappointed. I personally didn't feel like it was dragged out. A lot of people felt that was the case for this book, but I personally liked it. I wouldn't call it a thriller, like a huge suspenseful thriller, as it was just a family melodrama, as I said. So going into this expecting this thriller, super dark and whatever. I think that's what ruined it for me. It was still enjoyable and I still liked it, but I was just expecting more. Next up, I read Haunting Adeline. I think this is the biggest disappointment of the year so far. I was extremely disappointed. Everyone and their mamas hype Zaid Meadows. He is the main male character in the series so much. They hype him so freaking much, and I read it, and Zaid Meadows is the cringiest dude I've ever. He is so cringy, so corny. The motherfucker is like 35 or some shit. Like, he's a grown-ass man. He is 2 years away from a pension. His social security number is 2. He is not the type of dude. I'm exaggerating, but what I mean is that he's not like the type of dude that you would expect him to act like this and people hype him up. Like, so basically the Haunting Adeline is just an author living in a mansion, and this huge big hacker, killer, murderer, whatever the fuck he is obsessed with her and ends up stalking her, and I hated it. I hated him and I hated her. They deserve each other. Like, this is a match. I hated both of them. Next up, I read Intercepts by T.G. Pine, and this was one heck of a find. This was incredible. I started this and I was, oh, this is interesting but a bit boring. Oh my god, I love this. By the end, I was completely in awe. I loved everything. I was in the middle of a tornado. It was like that. It was so chaotic, and I was in the middle just like having a fun time looking at people torturing people or whatever. That probably doesn't make any sense unless you read the book. But this is an actual thriller. This I was reading alone in the dark and I got little goosebumps. I'm not a demon bitch. I'm not a I'm supernatural. I'm not. So it gave me goosebumps. And I was like, I need to put this book down and read it when it's 8 and sunny and people are outside and children are playing. Now, this was a thriller done super well. This was really good. It's just following Joe, a dude working in a place where they torture people for the government in the hopes of making them this super intelligent type of human being, because they discovered the way that makes people kind of have superpowers. Saying it like that makes it sound so childish. It's not, I promise. I just don't know words. And it ends up with a part of his job following him home, and what used to be a secretive organization becomes extremely personal and so dangerous and so freaking thriller, and it had a satisfying ending. Next up, I read a collection of stories by Franz Kafka, The Unhappiness of Being a Single Man. What do you know? 5 stars. I am a Kafka bitch. I am his hoe. I love the man so much. I relate to the man so much. Yes, that's pretentious. No, I do not care. And I swear to God, I kid you not, I finished Adeline. I was so disappointed, and my brain was mush because of the bad writing, the bad character development, the bad characters, the bad plot, the incredibly cringy Zaid Meadows. I hate him so much. I literally said word for word, Kafka save me. I went to my bookshelves looking for my Kafka collection, and he saved me. I needed him at the most desperate of moments, and he pulled up for me. He was there for me. He's my bitch. Then I read Ein klein Vrouw by also Kafka, and this translates to Little Women, A Little Woman, The Little Women, I don't fucking know. And it's cool. It wasn't my favorite from Kafka, but she says after just hyping up the man so much, it's still a 5 stars. I still gave it a 5 stars because of the implications. No, because of the story underneath. Like, I would read this and be like, oh, this is like a 3-star or something, right? And then I would read it again and be like, oh my god, this means like this means this for me. And then I would read it again and be like, this means this for me. And it's a short story, so you can like read it over and over and over again in a short span of time. And after a night of analyzing it in a desperate attempt to remove Haunting Adeline completely from my brain, it ended up being an incredible read, because I kept analyzing things after things after things with my 2 brain cells, and it meant so much to me. I would recommend you read it so we can discuss about it. Next up, I read Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke by Eric LaRocca. I ended up reading both books, You've Lost a Lot of Blood, which I spoke about recently, and Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoken, which is their their most famous book, their most hyped book, and I loved it. Absolutely fucking loved it. This was a 3.5 Yeah, I'm planning to make a full video on the author and the books that I've read, because I'm reading another book by them and I am absolutely obsessed. So I'll speak more about them on their own video. But yes, loved it. Basically following a girl who meets another woman on the internet, and they ended up emailing back and forth, and it turns dark so freaking quickly. It turns sadomastic, masochistic, obsessive so fast. It just takes a wrong turn. And I ended up actually going back and forth between the emails between them, and it's set up as the emails. It's not just like a storytelling POV. It's an email from this one and that one and this one, back and forth. And I ended up like going back and forth between them over and over again to just like try and pick exactly what went wrong, exactly when. And it was so freaking interesting. Like one of the most interesting reads that I've read. I think the most interesting read that I've read this year thus far. Also, You've Lost a Lot of Blood. I preferred it to You Think I've Gotten Worse Than I've Spoken. I gave it 5 stars and loved it so much. Then I read Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney. Again, talked about it recently. It's basically following a girl, Amber. It's following Amber. I'm reading a book with Hannah, sorry. It's following Amber and she's basically in a vegetative state, in a coma, and she can hear everything that's happening around her, and the secrets start splurging. That's not a word. Splurring. Splunge. You know what I mean. The secrets start flowing from everyone because they think she can't hear them, but she can, and it's so freaking interesting. If you were in a coma, would you like them to pull the plug or not? How long, like, would you want to sit there before they pull the plug? I personally, like, if it goes past maybe 2 weeks, I'd want them to pull the plug, because with my dissociation, bitch, I get confused. Like, if I take a nap and wake up, I don't know who I am, where I am, who I'm with. I can't imagine 2 weeks. It would literally end me. I would like need 6 months to remember that I am human, or what a human is. By the ending of the book, though, I was in love. We figured out that the POV that we've been reading is not what we thought it is. God, it's so tempting to spoil everything, huh? And loved it. 4.5 stars, almost perfect. Loved it so much. Station 11, kind of a disappointment. I read Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. Lovely name. I love the name. Yes. 11 follows a dystopian state, and after, like, it starts with an actor dying, and then we forward a few years and we are living in the dystopian state, like after the world ended or whatever. And I never understood that. Like, it's always like movies and stories about the world ending, but then they're living in the dystopian remains of the world's end. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Yes. But they're living there, and they are working as a traveling circus or whatever, and they call, I don't know, Harmony or something like that. Scattered Heart, I forgot. I'm not gonna look for it. I'm tired. And Symphony, not the Scattered Symphony, something Symphony, Traveling Symphony. The Traveling, oh my god, this is such an embarrassing moment. I was expecting more. The writing was beautiful. It was good. It was entertaining sometimes, but most of the time I didn't know what was happening. Like, I didn't care. I was like, oh my god, we've been walking with this dude for like 12 years. Stop walking, stop going places, just sit, just have a fried egg. Please, they are trying times. Have a boiled egg. Please, do something other than what you're doing. The premise of the story is very, very interesting, but it ended up being one of the books that you either love or hate, and I ended up on the latter scale. For me personally, the characters were extremely uninteresting. This traveling actor thingy, and like in a dystopian after the world and whatever, it sounds interesting, but it's like not when I read it. It's a clever book. It's witty and it's funny in a highbrow type of way. It's funny in a smart, witty way, and I like that about it. But at the same time, it was just boring. So many times I've been just reading the book and I would just stop in the middle of chapters, which is sacrilegious, and I wouldn't care, because nothing really interesting was happening even though stuff were happening, but not stuff that were done interestingly to me personally. I understand like why people that love it so much. Like I said, it's a love-hate type of book, but for me personally it was a letdown. I did start another book in May, which is the Priority of the Orange Tree. I'm almost done and I am stretching that motherfucker like I use my... I don't want the book to end. I wish it were 7,000 pages instead of 700. So I'm making an entire video on it because it's June and we like to be prideful in June. Lesbians. So that's coming soon. Also, happy summer because it's officially summer. Yeah, those have been the 12 books that I've read last month. What have been yours? I love you. I'm gonna see you in the next video.